So I finally decided to implement some new weapons into Windshire. Huh, I guess there is always a first time for everything. How's it going, everyone? I hope you guys are doing extremely well, and welcome back to our devlog series about a lower quality Zelda. Oh no, I probably should stop putting my game down. But anyways, on a very exciting side note, on the next few videos we will be hiding 2 keys per video. Some videos may be Steam games while others will be Unity asset keys. We decided to do 2 Steam game keys this video, so happy hunting. They're going to be hidden throughout this video, and once you guys find your key, put it down in the description below that you have claimed it and which game you have gotten. In addition, by the time you guys watch this video, the giveaway announced in the previous video will be live. This giveaway will include 10 winners, each winning 1 Unity asset of their choosing that we have available to choose from. So go down and check out the link in the description below. Anyways, back to the devlog. So we've been working extremely hard creating and implementing some unique looking weapons into Windshire. Well, one of them is extremely unique, while the other one is just a starter sword such as the gem sword we already have implemented, but you know, Excelsius kind of modeled up this sword way back when he first joined, so I just kind of felt obligated to finally make it equipable. So yeah, let's hop right into it. First things first, if you guys did not know, Excelsius creates some awesome, amazing, sexy if I may, swords and always makes the cool ones for his own game, which is kinda depressing. But, well, let's just not get into that. Anyways, after many awesome sword models, Excelsius has finally graced us with an awesome sword for Windshire. After a bit of work, he sent this over in the feedback channel on our Discord, and this did not disappoint me one bit. It was probably the best looking sword in the game so far, but again, we only have like 3 swords or something. After he sent me over the model, I was like, dang, I probably should actually implement the sword into the game. So waking up one morning, I felt really excited to finally get it into the game. Once importing all the weapons into the game, I realized that I just can't slap the basic effects on it and call it a day. I had to get creative, which who knew that you would have to be creative while making a game. So this weapon is called the Soulful Sword, and the first thing I thought of was to have souls radiate from the sword at all times. This made it look a bit more menacing even when you're just walking around and not swinging it. But when you do swing it, it still feels pretty generic and not very interesting at all. But then I remembered, since it is a Soulful Sword and the word soulful is in the name of the sword, then the sword must have souls in it. So I was thinking, what if skulls came out? Wait, skulls? You know what, I just wanted something more interesting to radiate from the sword while you swing it, and usually it's just tiny dust particles, but I was like, wouldn't it be sick to have skulls swing out of it? So that's kind of my thought process on why I chose skulls over souls, because honestly I didn't really have an idea on how souls would look swinging out of it. But who knows, I might change it in the future. But for the time being, it was extremely epic, so I was like, I'ma keep this. That was the final thing I did to implement the sword, and I do want to add in more special abilities and stuff like that, but that's for a bit later on. But after creating the sword, I really wanted to implement one more sword because I was just kind of in that mood, which is why I chose the Golden Ruby sword. I've had it in the game files for a very long time, and I just thought it would be a perfect addition to the gem sword and the Soulful Sword. I didn't want to make it super special since it was just going to be a basic weapon the player could get, but I did change a few colors on it just to add in an off factor. Let me know what you guys think down in the description below of these new swords and which one is your favorite. But before we move on, I wanted to get the community involved some more with the development of Windshire. So if you guys have an awesome idea for a weapon, put it down in the comments below and we will choose our favorite one so Excelsius can slave away on making some awesome new weapons. So by now, many know the struggles we have with Ys, and if you guys don't, let me explain what the gist of the problem is. But after pulling a quick one on the Wise launcher, I was finally able to get it working. This was a pretty big thing for us because currently we're using some garbage custom made audio manager that I made back in phase 1, which worked back then because all I needed to do was play simple audio. But once I want to do anything but play audio once, it kind of bugs out, which shouldn't be the case. But with the actual working Wise, we will be able to add awesome fades, effects, and so much more to our audio. If you guys do not know what Wise is, it's a very powerful audio manager that is able to plug into Unity and handle all the audio implementations through itself. So basically, bye bye audio listener from Unity, welcome Wise audio listener. So I was planning on adding a ton more features this week, but my family decided to surprise us with a little trip, so I'm just gonna take you guys along for the ride. So while I was on my trip, I didn't want to just sit around and not do anything, though I didn't have Windshire set up on my laptop so I couldn't work in the engine. There was something itching the back of my head, and no, it wasn't the bugs at the trip. The big problem I had was with Trello. I really love Trello for smaller projects and just solo type of projects, but I dislike it for larger teams or a huge project like we have before us. So before I went onto this trip, I was heavily looking at different managing options and overall task options to deal with the management of this project. And because I said the word managing website near my phone, I got about 30 different ads for management solutions, but one really stood out. The one I decided to go with was called ClickUp. It's a newer solution and the layout was extremely friendly, and better yet, it was free forever. It has a premium version, but that's not really necessary for us. So over this trip, I really sunk my teeth in, and the more I used it, the better I got with it. And no, we aren't sponsored or anything, it just fits exactly what I needed, and I wanted to let you guys know which management tool we are switching to. So after a few days, I got phase 2 completely transferred over from Trello to ClickUp with some much needed updates to the cards. You can easily create a whole space in ClickUp and transfer straight from Trello, but I decided to start from scratch just to get a better idea of what we really needed to do. With this setup, I invited the rest of the team onto the platform and it worked perfectly. Finally, we were able to start getting AI back on the table. We took a little bit of a break from it because Captain Conrad was helping me. Wait. No, he wasn't. Captain Conrad was making a solution for root motion movement with the nav mesh. And right before I left for my trip, he sent me over a message saying it was finally ready. And it was the most exciting 3 seconds before I realized that I would not be able to play around with it for another 5 days due to my trip. But like I stated before, we didn't just slack around on the trip, so it was alright. But finally, once I did get home, I did a pull request and started playing around with the solution he made, and it was just perfect. There weren't any issues and the code looked clean and readable, which is much more than I could say for myself. You may ask, why did you guys spend over a month getting root motion to work on AI? Kinda seems like a waste of time, and let me tell you guys, it was worth every single day. Because on our previous behavior tree, we had to use a lot of checks to make sure the AI didn't move when he was in a different animation. And with this solution, the AI will not move unless the animation he is in moves it for him, which is 1,000 times better than doing a check for every single state he could be in at that time. But with all of that sorted and ready to go, I was finally able to start on the behavior tree. The first thing I wanted to keep in mind was making the tree as simple as possible, because these behavior trees are really easy to make overly complicated and add tasks and checks that you don't really need to be there at all. So the first thing I did do was switch over from the old movement task to the new one Captain Conrad made, and I just pressed played and I wanted to see how well it would work, and it worked extremely well. There wasn't that desync between the Orcs model and the Orcs nav mesh model that was there before, and this was an extremely annoying issue that persisted before this new implementation, but now it's thankfully gone. So give Captain Conrad a huge thank you in the comments down below. The next thing I started on was adding in an FOV to the Orcs. This again was a pretty big issue for the AI, because the Orcs would easily forget who they were attacking and just run off because the target slightly got out of their range when they were up close. But I implemented the FOV system and realized there's still a small issue with the FOV and the movement. Because the Orcs are constantly chasing the player and is in a state of running in the behavior task, the FOV never gets double checked, which is the current way this behavior tree is set up. But this is a problem we're going to solve in the next devlog, and we will have a pretty awesome AI set up and ready to showcase in the very close future. This devlog has some awesome models that I do want to showcase to you guys. The first one comes from Perforator. He created another amazing looking house that I'm really excited to get in game and ready to showcase in the engine. In addition, though it's not 100% finished, I cannot wait to show you guys this new building Perforator has been working really hard on. It looks awesome, so I'm extremely excited about the finished model that's coming in the next devlog. And finally, Excelsius is working on another adorable orc model, but I do not want to showcase this one just yet until it is completely ready to be shown. But let me tell you guys, the model looks amazing, and the next devlog will have some beautiful reveals. And on that note, I wanted to thank everyone for tuning in. I hope you guys found the keys hidden in the video, and if you did, comment down below that you have claimed it and what game it was. Next devlog, we will have some awesome things coming, such as the AI, more wise implementations, and some awesome looking models, so keep your eyes peeled when we release our next devlog. And finally, I wanted to thank our awesome patrons again this month. Let's give a huge thank you to Tofster and Token. They have been an awesome help for this project, and not only them, but Inconspicuous, Max, Tajna, Delta, Monsieur, and Michael. You guys have been such a help, and we wanted to give you a huge thank you for supporting us and allowing us to do this giveaway that we are doing. And on that final note, thank you guys for tuning in, and I will see you guys in the next devlog.